बेटा मैं लाइव जा रहा हूँ. Okay, we are live. Let's see if we can turn on the. Okay. Jai Jinendra, everyone. And I would like to do a quick check on the availability of the video and the audio. So, Keval, let me pick on Keval. Keval, do you want to give me a feedback? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Jai Jinendra beta. So why don't we do this? Let's start with Navkar Mantra. And today I have Eshna back with me. She is back from her ski lessons. No ski lessons today. So we have her with us. Why don't we let Eshna take the lead? And Keval, why don't you also join Eshna for doing the Navkar Mantra, including the Mangal part? Okay? And go ahead, Eshna.
Arihantanam Namo Siddhanam Namo Airyanam Namo Vijayanam Namo Loe Savasahunam Eso Panchanamokaro Savapavapanashino Mangalanam Cha Savesim Padamam Havai Mangalam Chattari Mangalam Arihantha Mangalam Siddha Mangalam Sahu Mangalam Kevli Panato Dhammo Mangalam Chattari Loguttama Arihantha Loguttama Siddha Loguttama Sahu Loguttama Kevli Panato Dhammo Loguttama Chattari Sharanam Pavajami Arihante Sharanam Pavajami Siddhe Sharanam Pavajami Sahu Sharanam Pavajami Kevli Panato Dhammo Sharanam Pavajami.
Good job, Ishna. Thank you for leading us in the Navkar Mantra and the Mangal part today. So, Keval and everyone, we are going to continue with the study of the 10 righteous virtues or 10 dharm or 10 lakshan dharm. What are we going through these days, Keval? What are we learning about?
Lakshan Dharm.
10 Lakshan Dharm. Very good. And what I did for you is, if you look into the chat window, I have given the names of all the 10 Dharma with their English meaning and their opposites. Okay? So, if you go through them one by one, and I'll let you do the recitation, Keval, and I have Samvar joining as well, so which is great. So Keval,
Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra beta, thank you for joining. And we are going to continue with the 10 righteous virtues, that is 10 Lakshan Dharma today. We just completed our Mangal part and Navkar Mantra. And now I have, if you look into the chat window, I have given the names of the 10 righteous virtues, the 10 10 Lakshan Dharma on the side. So Keval is going to take us through the names. Keval, why don't you read through the names?
Uttam Shama,
Mhm.
Uttam Madhav, Uttam Arjav, Uttam
Shorch.
Short,
Yes.
Uttam Sanyam, Uttam Satya, Uttam Tap, Uttam Tyag, Uttam Akinchan,
Chanya. Very good. Uttam Aking
Uttam
Chanya.
Brahmacharya,
Very
Uttam
nice. Very nice. Good job. Good job, Keval. Okay. So what you should do is copy paste these 10 names, and in the bracket you will find the English meaning of them. Okay. So when we say Uttam Shama, that's supreme forgiveness. And what is it opposite to? Krodh. You know about the 4 kashais, right? Who is going to give me the name of 4 kashais? Okay. Anyone? Samvar? Go ahead, Samvar.
Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh.
Nice. Good job. Krodh, Man, Maya, and Lobh. And you know what are the positive opposites of these 4 bad kashais? Samvar? Go ahead.
Yeah. Uttam Shama is the opposite of Krodh. Uttam Madhav is the opposite of Man. Uttam Arjiv is the opposite of Maya, and Uttam Soch is the opposite of Lob.
Very good. Good job. Good job, somewhere. Perfect. Spot on. Okay. So this is exactly what I have put in my notes on the chat window also. And then the other names are, the next four are Sanyam, which is self-control. Okay. Satya, which is truth. Tap, which is penance. Tyag, that's renunciation or giving up. Akinchanya is non-attachment to things, and brahmacharya is super celibacy. Okay. And Darshita, the names are actually there in the chat. I don't know, I think you joined late, so let me paste them again. Okay, it's on the chat out there. I have done that again. Okay.
Thank you.
So you can take these names, paste them in your notes, and refer to them as much as you like. Okay, very important things. Now today, so last week, I think it was a long weekend, so not many kids joined. So what we'll do is we'll not cover. What we've been doing is, every day we are doing two stories about two dharma. That way, we already covered Shama, Mardav, Arjav, and Shoch. Okay, these four were covered earlier. But then, last week we covered Sanyam. Okay, we cannot go through all the stories again because, that will take a lot of time. What I would suggest is you keep doing this, going through the stories later. Okay. And I do see Gia joining us back. So welcome back, Gia. I missed you last week.
Jai Jinend.
Jai Jinend, beta. We just started. I just pasted the names of the 10 righteous karma. 10 righteous virtues in the chat window. These are names in English, and then their corresponding meaning in English. And for the first four, the opposites. Okay. This is very important for you that you guys remember these names. Okay. If I think this is very good thing, because this is about the das dharma. Okay. These are the 10 things or 10 concepts that we should be following as Jains. है ना? And it's hard to follow them, but being aware of them is the first step. Okay. And how we are making ourselves aware? By knowing more about those concepts and learning them with some stories. Okay. And I have also given you a path to a Wikipedia page. On that page, you will find more content about the Das Lakshan Dharma. Okay. But that's something you can read on your at your leisure time later. Okay. So let's do this. As have been mentioning, we are not going to cover all the stories. We will not be able to cover all the stories. But let's start with the story of Satya today. Now, Eshna, what is Satya? What does it mean?
Satya means saying the truth.
Very nice. Satya is truth, supreme truth. So let's start with a story about supreme truth. Then we are going to do a story about tap, that is penance, and tyag, that is renunciation. And Samyag is also joining us after his homework. So that's a great thing. Samyag, you can join us here on the camera as well. I know you are camera shy, more of a director than a actor, but that's okay. So let's do this. Wait, let me share the screen now. And then we'll get going with the first story for the day. Bless you. That's a perfect start, Ishna. Okay, let's see. And I'll need a feedback from those, on the Zoom, if you can see my shared window.
Yes, we can see.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Buddha. Okay, I think I have the feedback. So thank you for that. Let me start the story now.
Kids. So when I was in kids. So when I was in the 4th grade, I had an extremely awesome teacher, but she gave homework all the time. Do you have a teacher like this? So one day, my teacher asked one of my friends if he completed the homework, but my friend forgot, and he told her that he did not do it. The teacher began to yell at him for not doing it, and the entire class laughed at him and made fun of him. But then the teacher came over to me and asked me about my homework. But I too actually forgot to do my homework. I didn't want to be embarrassed like my friend. So I told her that I had done my homework, but had forgotten the notebook at home. I felt so good. I was able to fool my teacher. But when I went home and told this to my mom, she told me a story. Do you want to listen to it?
Okay, now before we move forward, who has done similar thing at the school ever? Any one of you who has been through this kind of lying game ever? Okay, I see nodding. So that means nobody has, which is a great thing. Okay, so I am so happy all my kids. Maybe somewhere has a story to tell. Go ahead, somewhere. What's your story?
Well, I don't think so, but I just either it was just a dream or it happened in real life. I'm not really sure if
Acha.
this was true.
Oh, okay. But have you ever lied to your parents or said something which is not true to your parents, teachers, or your friends ever? Any of you?
Mm, well, I've lied for fun to my friends, but otherwise no.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Uh, yeah, lying for fun sometimes happen, but then you have to correct it. You have to tell them, "Hey, I was just kidding." To be on the right path. Okay, and sometimes when you do it just for fun, and then it's not damaging anyone, and you are able to convey to the people around you that, "Hey, this was just a joke." That's a different story. Okay, that's not bad provided you correct it and it's not damaging to either you or your or the person you are doing it to, then it's fine. Okay, if it's a prank, it's fine, but it should not be a dangerous prank. That's important. Okay, but I'm so glad that none of you had to go through that episode. Actually, yesterday we had a situation at the gym. So I took the my kids to the gym, and there was, for the swimming pool, it was a great grand pool, and both my kids, Samyak and Eshna, they know great swimming, so they were fine with swimming on their own independently. But then what happened is, I had to go somewhere, so I let Ishna swim. And the rule there was like, uh, kids about 12 can only swim on their own independently. So I had to tell Samyak, hey, you know what, Samyak, if someone asks you if you are swimming, and if someone asks you, what is your age, just tell them it's 12 when he's not, right? So that was a bad thing on my part as a parent, to force him to say lie. Okay. But it was not damaging to anyone. So I thought of taking that path. I don't think Samyak was happy with that. So he gave me a look, and he didn't wanted to say that lie, to anyone, which is a great thing. At least the consciousness was there. And at the end of the day, the instructor there realized that both kids are really good at swimming. So he ended up giving them a pass, like, okay, every time you come, I've seen your swimming, you can do your swimming on your own, you don't have to be no parent need to be around you at the gym pool. So kind of got managed. But I think that thought stuck me when I was going through the Satya story, and it reminded me myself that, you know what, I should not be forcing other people to tell lie. Okay, especially my kids. So I think I'll have to do a penance now, and do some kind of tap, or what we call as prashchit, to correct myself. है ना? So just sharing my story, because I thought, it's not like you guys lie, parents lie too. Okay, and they have to have a self realization that when they lie, it's not always for good. Sometimes they lie to keep the kids on the right path, but other times you could have better ways of managing situations, है ना? They may not be turn out to be great, to be conducive to you, but you have to be aware of them. Okay. So I hope you will learn from my story, that will remind you of situations and how you should be dealing with the situations in life. Okay. So let's proceed.
This is the story of three friends whose names are Vasu, Narand, and Parvat. Vasu was the king
Okay.
of a
The names are, what are the names of the three characters in the story?
Vasu,
Uh-huh.
Narvat,
Narad.
names
Narad,
are
and
Vasu, Narand, and Parvat.
Okay, so the names as pronounced there are not correct. I would like you to remember the names as right names. Okay, if you say some person's name, misspell it or mispronounce it, they don't feel right. है ना? If somebody does that to you, you will not feel right. So same way, we have to deal with our accent, and we are from India, so we should say the names right. Okay, so it is Vasu. Okay, repeat after me. Vasu
Vasu, Narad,
and
and
Parvat.
Parvat.
Parvat means mountain. Narad is a sort of a Shalaka Purush, and that's the name. And Vasu. Okay, Vasu, Narad, and Parvat. Let's move forward.
Vasu was the king of a city. Parvat was a teacher at Gurukul, meaning a school, and Narand was a pandit, meaning a
Narad.
scholar.
It's Narad. Okay, not Narand. It's what is it? Narad. Keval, what's the name?
Narad.
Narad.
Narad. Go slow.
Narad.
Narada. Okay. Yeshna, what is the name?
Narada.
Okay. And the other name is Parvat.
Parvat.
Very good. What's the name? Keval?
Parvat.
Parvat. Very good. Parvat. Okay. So these are and the third name is simple. It's Vasu.
One day, Narand went to meet his friend Parvat in Gurukul. When teacher Parvat was teaching in the classroom, there came a line in one lesson, Ajastami. Parvat said that the meaning of Aja was goat, who should be sacrificed, meaning killed in a holy fire to worship God. Listening to this, Narand said, "Oh, dear friend Parvat, Aja means old rice, meaning that old rice should be added to the holy fire to worship God, and not by doing hinsa or violence." But Parvat was reluctant to listen to what Narand said and told him, "No, only I am right," and he became angry. Both the friends started fighting. The fighting got so intense that people suggested that they meet their friend King Vasu and ask him instead. When Parvat came,
So what was the confusion? It was this old Sanskrit, phrase. Okay. The word of conflict was aja. Now this is very interesting with languages like Hindi. They are so rich language. They have developed over a long period of time, especially Sanskrit, right? So over a period of time, same word got different meanings. है ना? So here the word is aja. Now aja is very simple word. Now it could either mean a bakra, which is a goat, right? Aja, if anybody who learns Sanskrit would know this, that aja means goat. But aja also means old rice, right? So this couplet, this phrase, what it actually meant was the sacrifice of old rice. That is, giving up away of old rice gets you good karma or whatever, right? But how did the two people interpret it differently? So the teacher said, oh, that means old goat or goat, right? Sacrificing goat brings good karma. While the other person, who walked into the ashram said, the Parvat guy said, it means sacrificing old rice. That was the point of argument. So this is very interesting with languages like Hindi and Sanskrit. Same word could have multiple meanings, in different contexts. And one have to be aware of those contexts to derive the right meaning. Otherwise, it could either lead to a funny situation or it could lead to a dangerous situation, like what happened here in the story.
Came home, he told his mother about everything. But do you know what? His mother knew that what Parvat said was actually in fact wrong, and what Narang said was right. But do you know what she thought? She thought that if her son was proven wrong, then that would insult him, and that she must save her son from this disrespect. And because of this thought, do you know what she did? The next day, early in the morning, she went to meet King Vasu in his palace before Narand and Parvat even reached.
Okay, it's not Narand, Narad. Okay, I know I'm being a perfectionist on it, but it's kind of sticking in my brain. So I'll keep reminding you of that name. Otherwise, you guys will remember wrong names. Okay, it is Narad, Narad. Okay, and see what has happened here. The mom, knew the right thing, that his son is actually misinterpreting that particular phrase of Sanskrit, but she had great love for her, affection, not love, affection for her kid, right? Now affection is also sometimes can lead you on bad paths. You like one of your friends, but you know that he is on the wrong path, but you'll end up supporting him. That's exactly what is happening here. This mom was knowing that her son Narad is misinterpreting, but since he is a teacher and teacher cannot be proven wrong because it's so insulting for them and blah blah, so she went to the king Vasu beforehand, and let's see what she did.
She told King Vasu that his friends, Narad and Parvat, were going to come to meet him. She told him that they would ask you a question, and that promise me that you will say that my son is right and that Narand is wrong, even if my son's answer is completely wrong. King Vasu got tense. Since Parvat's mother was his Guru Mata, once during his childhood, he had promised her that he would help her whatever she would ask. Because of that promise King Vasu made to Guru Mata, the king agreed that he would say that Parvat is right no matter what.
Now here you see, this is a situation that in Hindi we call as dharam sankat for King Vasu. And what is his dharam sankat, or his dilemma? His dilemma is, on one side, he has to respect his vow, the vow that he had taken in the childhood, right? With the mom, her Guru Mata, her teacher, her mom teacher, okay, or teacher mom, I should say. That is that that he will never lie, or never not follow the instructions of her Guru Mata. And on other side, he has to now lie, because Guru Mata is actually telling him to say a lie. Now remember, this is the same story that happened with me and Samyak at the gym, right? I told him to say a lie, right? So he was very confused that, I should follow my papa's instructions, or rather I should say the truth. And that was his dilemma. Same is the dilemma of Vasu, King Vasu, right? So King Vasu is now confused what to follow, what not to. And this is a situation that we as human beings have to face so many times in our life. Every day we'll be supplied with a situation where we'll have to choose between lesser evils. And that's exactly was the dilemma of Vasu, which led to his downfall, something that we'll hear about in a bit here. Okay, so let's move forward. Any questions with the story so far? Is it making sense what's going on here? Okay. Darshita, go ahead. You have a question?
Yeah, this. Well, no, but I Oh wait, never mind.
Okay, we'll come back to you later. Okay, let's continue with the story.
After some time, Narand and Parvat came to the king's court. King Vasu welcomed both his friends. Both of his friends said that they had come to ask him the meaning of Ajastami. Narand told the king that it means offering old rice in the holy fire to worship God. And Parbat told the king that it means that a goat should be sacrificed in the holy fire to worship God. Then they said, "Dear friend Vasu, now only you can tell us who is right and who is wrong." King Vasu knew very well that Aja meant old rice, and that God should be worshipped with old rice only, and that killing a goat is violence and also an extremely great sin. But he had promised Guru Mata that he would say that Parvat is right. He was in a dilemma and was wondering if he should say the truth or if he should lie and fulfill the promise he made to Guru Mata. So King Vasu decided to fulfill his promise to Guru Mata instead of saying the truth. King Vasu said that what Parvat was saying was right. He did not even realize that he was calling hinsa or violence the right thing to do. But wait, what just happened suddenly? The moment King Vasu lied, his throne started slowly burying in the earth. And Narand immediately said, "O king, there is still time. Please tell the truth, and you shall be saved." But the king, he refused, and his throne was buried inside the earth, and he died that very moment. Kids, do you know where the king went after he died? He went to the most horrifying seventh hell because he lied and he supported violence. Because of his one lie, now there are so many goats who, in the name of religion, are being killed and being sacrificed. This ritual is called Bali. After listening to the story, I
Okay, so you just saw what happened to Vasu. Neither Narad suffered, nor Parvat, nor the mom. They suffered in their own way. Okay, they also accrued karma according to what the positions, the stance they were taking in their life. But this story, we are focusing only on what happened to Raja Vasu. है ना? And what happened to Raja Vasu? Raja Vasu not just said a lie, he said a lie which supported a act of violence, and not just a small act of violence, inadvertent violence. It supported an act of violence which has been sticking in the Indian tradition for so long, for so many people. And what is that act? The sacrifice of goats. It happens in not just Hindus in India, in some Hindu sects. It also happens in the Muslim sect when they do the sacrifice of goats at the time of Idul Juha or whatever. So it has stuck, in the human civilization, in the culture for so long, because of that one mistake of Raja Vasu. Because he cited, he chose between, as per his discretion, he thought that, disrespecting Guru Mata is a bigger evil, right? So he decided to rather follow the Guru Mata's instructions and do this act, and he got his punishment instantaneously. He instantaneously died because of that natural calamity, and he was reborn into the most nepernal, most painful of the nark. Right? That's what happened with Vasu, because his act of saying lie was a grand act of saying lie. It caused so much damage. It caused violence, and it kept causing violence over and over and over and over and again. So he got anantanubandhi karm, uh, you know, attached to himself, his soul basically. Okay, so that's what happened. Now, is that what happened at the gym between me and Samyag yesterday? Maybe not. Definitely not, because it didn't cause that kind of act of violence. But still, it was lying. So I'm sure I would have got some bad karma attached to me, which I'll have to now bear the fruit of. है ना? So be aware of this. You will be facing these dilemmas so many times in your life. Be aware of what to do at that point in time. Is saying a lie going to cause any violence? on violence of what intensity and what effect, right? You should be aware of that, and definitely avoid that kind of telling lies. Definitely. Sometimes you have to do certain things to be practical, but you should not lose sight of the damage it can cause. है ना? Then only you will be able to make right decision for yourself in life, for your soul in particular. Okay, so continuing with the story.
I promised that I would never, ever lie for the rest of my life. But I will tell you a secret that in the past, I have cheated sometimes while playing games. But now I have stopped doing that because I do not want to go to hell. Here is a tricky question for you. Imagine that you are in a jungle and you see a deer running, and after some time, you also see a hunter. The hunter comes up to you and asks, "Where did the deer go? I want to hunt him, eat him. Tell me." What will you do in this situation? Will you tell the truth and maybe not let the deer die? Or will you lie and save the deer? Hmm.
Okay, let's see. Let me go through in the room. Who is going to? Okay, Ishna, go ahead. What will you do? You will save the. Now this is a dilemma, right? Between saying truth and saving a life. Ishna,
So I would just freeze. I
you
wouldn't say anything.
you wouldn't say anything. Okay. That way you will save yourself from not saying a lie, and you will save the life of the animal also. Okay. Hmm. So you're not saying even pata nahi or I don't know, because that would have been a lie. Okay, I take your answer. Samvar, how about you? What will you do?
I would just run away.
Which is like staying there and not saying anything, going quiet. Okay, that's
Yeah, so
that's another.
that the hunter does not shoot me with the gun.
But the bullet moves faster than you run. You know that, right, someone? So, however fast you run, the bullet will be able to catch you. So maybe you should hide. Okay, run and duck. Okay, the great answer, good answer. How about you, Darshita? What would you do, Darshita? Okay, let's go to Jia. I think Darshita is frozen screen, so I don't know. Jia, what would you do?
Well, I thought that I don't know, but I don't know what the hunter is trying to do with the deer. But what I would do, I would mostly say a lie because I don't want the deer to be dead. I don't
Okay.
know why I don't know we don't know why the hunter is killing the deer. So
Hmm.
probably
Okay.
I may say a lie.
Okay. Nice. And see, okay, I see your point that hunter may be killing for a greater cause, which may not apply here because we are not talking about a lion, right? Or a man-eating lion or a cannibal lion, who is attacking everyone. So it's not a situation of a virodhi hinsa, right? We learned about virodhi hinsa, you remember? Virodhi hinsa is like self-defense, act of violence in self-defense. I don't think that is the situation, because the deer is running ahead and the hunter is following him. The only thing that potentially could happen is that this deer was actually eating up somebody's farm and causing damage to the crop, which is leading to some kind of financial or loss or a famine kind of situation. But that's not what we are talking about. Still, I think you are choosing um, not supporting or act of violence over saying a lie, which is a great thing. It's not a bad decision. I think it's a good thing to do. This is a matter of choice, right? So violence being violence, you are refraining yourself from causing it. Great. Let's move on to Keval. Keval, what would be your choice?
I would say a lie and
You would
save the
say a
deer.
lie as well. Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. You would say a lie like no, maybe point him to a different direction kind of thing. Okay, great, great. How about you, Samyag? Guy behind the camera.
Depends on the situation. So I wouldn't say anything initially, but if he starts going on the way the deer went,
Mhm.
then I tell him, "Oh no, no, don't go that way. I remembered he went that way or something."
So you will lie basically, right?
But
Okay.
only on the condition.
On the condition. So it's a conditional lie, and you will try to avoid even that. But
Yeah.
I get your point. Great, great answer. Okay, who is left? Let's go to maybe Darshita. What would you do,
I
Darshita?
I I would also freeze like her.
Like Krishna? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, 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 and that way avoid telling a lie or causing supporting act of violence. How about you, Arav?
I will. I'm gonna tell a lie because if you save an animal, you may save any more lives of animals.
Okay, nice answer. Okay, so you will also say a lie, is what I heard, Arav. Okay, good, good. Samyag, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, so instead of even lying, I'd maybe try to stall him.
Mhm.
Like what? Like acting like I can't
Mhm.
hear or like do something.
Okay. Okay, you know what? There is that, and then if you are in position of strength and power, you could even assert, right? You could push back on the guy. You can tell him that I know where he went, but I will not tell you where he went because don't support your acts. So if you have position of strength, if you get to the gym every day and build some muscles, you could probably do that. Right? Right?
He has a gun.
Yeah. Or no, you don't have to use violence, like things of violence, or
I know,
keep
but he
them.
still has a gun.
So what? It's, see, you have to have strength in your words. Guns are there. People, who feel weak keep guns. And by the way, it's a hunting gun, right? So yes, he can technically shoot you with it, but then he will be in more trouble, right? So if you are in position of strength and you can assert your position of strength, you could push him back. You could say, hey, I know this, I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm not going to tell you, and this is why I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you because it causes violence, and I do not support violence unless you force me into it. Because if he forces you in the violent act of violence, then virodhi hinsa. Remember that concept of virodhi hinsa, act of self defense. In act of self defense, you are okay to push back and cause some violence. है ना? So be aware of that thought also. Although I like your thoughts, okay, because you all are kids. So being kids, you are not in any position of strength, especially against a big guy with mustaches, right, Keval? Guys with mustaches are always with greater strength, right, Keval? You told me once, right? You were afraid of me because I kept mustaches, so I gave up my mustaches now. Okay, I do see Samvar raising hand, so why don't we go to Samvar? I think he has something to share.
Well, so I actually changed my answer. I would actually snatch the gun and then throw it, and then I could scream. So I have time to exit, and also he would be confused. Then he would just run to get his gun. Then by the time I would be out of the forest.
Nice. That's a great strategy. I'll not call it trickery because then it will be supporting Maya, and we don't do Maya, right? We have to be straightforward. We have to be pure at heart. But this could be an act of strategy, right? And when you are not in power position of strength and power, you could probably do that. So yes, it's kind of good. I mean, if I were there, I would have done what I just said, right? I would have confronted him. I would have said, no, sir, I know where the deer went, but I'm not going to tell you that because I want to save a life. But if you as a kid could do all these things what you just said, है ना? So be aware of your situation and how. But irrespective, the most important thing which I liked in all your answers is you guys are trying to avoid the hunter killing the deer, right? So that is, you are not supporting the act of violence, which is great, which is the right answer. Okay. How the modes of how you do it, how you achieve your goals are kind of different based upon your own situations, है ना? Which is how it should be. So great. Okay. So good to know all this. Let's move on to the next story now. So we covered Uttam Satya. Let's move on to Uttam Tap now. We can do in any sequence, but let me see which one I have saved next. Okay, while I'm doing this, any questions, guys? Okay, I'll take it as no questions. Let's move on to the next story. Uttam Tap. Okay.
Jai Jinendra kids! Today, I will tell you about the seven dharm. Uttam Tap, which means supreme austerity. Tap means to control all desires and wants. Once, there lived a king who had two sons.
Okay, Uttam Tap. Who is going to tell me the meaning of Uttam Tap?
I know.
I know you know, Ishna. Let's ask on the camera. Let's see. I don't see people, so just give me a second. Let me change the view. This one. Okay, I see Samvar raising hand. Anyone else before I go to Samvar? What does Uttam Tap means? And by the way, hint, hint. The answer is in the chat window. Hint, hint. The answer is in the chat window. Now I see Darshita raising hand. Okay, go ahead, Darshita. What does Uttam Tap means?
Uttam tap Uttam tap means like you do this promise, like I won't eat for a day or something.
Okay, Uttam Tap is vow, taking vow and following it is yeah. I mean, the way you described it is how one should do tap. You know, they take a vow. First, you take a niyam and then follow it. Let's go to Keval. Keval, Uttam Tap.
Penance. Penance.
Penance. Yeah, that's the English word for it. Penance, right? So penance means you are giving up something that is dear to you and trying to keep away from it. So that could be anything, है ना? You apply some degree of self control, like you say, hey, I'm not going to eat after sunset today. You know, that's an act of penance. Or it could be like, I'm not going to say lie to someone ever in my life, and following it to the T. Or it could be something like, I'm going to donate $1 every day for rest of my life. That's a sort of act of tap. Not exactly, but kind of there, right? But it's taking a vow, right? So that act of taking a vow is a penance. Gia, go ahead.
Actually, this is just this example for it. So, for
Hmm?
example, like for Muniraj, they sit in the hot sun, and even if it rains, it's snowy,
Mhm.
it's sunny, they still do meditation. And sometimes I don't eat food, so that's it.
Oh, not eating food. Yeah, that reminds me of Ashna. So Ashna sometimes doesn't like her food. So that means Ashna is doing tap every day. What do you think, Gia?
I take a niyam actually. I take niyam that I want to do.
Yeah, that's a good answer, Gia. Yes, you have to first take a niyam. It's not like, oh, I don't like this sabji, so I'm not eating it. So that means I'm doing a tap. That's not tap, right? Tap is giving up something that you like. If you like gulab jamun and you decide, I'm not going to eat gulab jamun for next 7 days, you take a niyam for it and then follow it. That's a tap. है ना? That's a type of tap. Samvar, you want to share something?
Well, I actually have this name that I won't eat after 8 if for my whole life.
Very
Unless
nice.
if I'm at somebody else's house or if
Hmm.
somebody else came to my house.
Okay, that's a great niyam to have. I like that niyam, and I'm so happy that you have taken this kind of niyam. I will wish you that you are able to follow this niyam to the best capacity. Okay, glad, very glad, Samvar. I'm so happy to hear about your niyam. Okay, any other thing that any of the kids want to share? Samyag, anything you want to share on Uttam Tap, like watching TV for 1.5 hour every day? That could be a niyam as well, right?
No, it isn't.
Why is it not? Why is that not a niyam, Ishna?
Because we didn't take the name.
Okay, so let's say if you take that kind of niyam, that I will be definitely watching TV for 1.5 hour every day. Is that something that one should consider as a niyam and an act of tap?
It won't be an act of tap.
Mhm.
And every day I cannot watch TV every day. Only on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and if there's break.
Okay, so what would be a better niyam to take in the context of TV?
Do not watch TV for
Okay.
1 hour.
Okay. And why is that a niyam? Why not watching TV could be a good niyam?
Because actually TV kind of attracts you sometimes.
Yes. So it attracts you. Great answer, Ishna, and that's the thought I wanted for you to think of, right? Because you like doing that act, right? You want to watch TV, and that's giving that up is an act of tap, right? If I make you eat lauki ki sabji and you say, you know what, I don't like lauki, that's not an act of tap. Okay, that's taking that kind of niyam is not act of tap. Okay, so be aware of that. Any other thing that anyone want to share? Okay, let's move on with this story.
Bhatrihari and Shubchandra. They used to live in a very beautiful and rich palace. But both brothers wanted to do tapasya, which is the practice of religious austerity. So they both left their palace and went out to do tapasya. Bhartrihari went to an Aztec who performed the occult.
Okay,
They
the
both
names.
left their
Let's
Bhartrihari and Shubchandra.
So the names of the two characters are Bhrutihari and Shubhchandra. Okay, Bhrithhari. It's Bhrithhari and Shubhchandra. Okay, let's continue.
They used to live in a very beautiful and rich palace. But both brothers wanted to do tapasya, which is the practice of religious austerity. So they both left their palace and went out to do tapasya. Bhartrihari went to an Aztec who performed the occult arts and black magic and became his student. The Aztec gave him some ashes, said to rub it on his body, and taught him some weird mantras. He taught Bhartrihari voodoo magic, while his brother, Shilchandra, went to an unclad Reverend Digambar Muni Maharaj, which is a Jain monk, to seek his tutelage. The Digambar Muni Maharaj would always be engrossed in the meditation of the mind, soul, and supreme religious austerity. The Muni Maharaj gave Prince Shubchandra very good guidance and said to him, Prince, if you practice religious austerity to purify your soul and shed all your karmas, you will prosper. So, monk Shubchandra also started practicing hard religious tapasya. While Bhartrihari did tapasya under the guidance of the black magic Aztec, Shubchandra did religious tapasya under the guidance of the Digambar Muni Maharaj. Both of them did tapasya for 12 years, and after that, Bhartrihari's Aztec guru told him, Bhartrihari, now you are perfect in Mantra Tantra. As a result of your tapasya, you have earned this amazing special liquid that can turn anything into gold. Wow! Bhartrihari was so happy, and he wanted to share that special liquid with his brother. So, he sent one of his followers to Shubchandra Maharaj with that liquid. That follower went to Shubchandra Maharaj, but Maharaj told him, I I really do not need this. Might as well just throw this liquid here on the rocks. That follower was shocked. He went to Bhartrihari and told him, Gurudev, your brother is very poor. He doesn't even have clothes to wear. And maybe he has even lost his mind. He threw that precious liquid, which turns anything into gold, on rocks. What? And Bhartrihari himself went to his brother Shivchandra Maharaj and told him, Brother, what is wrong with you that you threw away the liquid? That was no ordinary liquid. I received that special liquid after 12 years of practicing rigorous tapasya. I have got the remaining special liquid with me. You can make gold out of this and get rid of your poverty. And you know what? Muni Shivchandra again threw that special liquid on the rocks and said, You said that special liquid turns everything into gold. What did it turn into gold? Bhartrihari said, Why did you do that? You wasted 12 years of my hard work by throwing it on the rocks. You tell me, what did you earn in 12 years of your tapasya? Shivchandra Maharaj said, So only this special gold liquid holds your entire 12 years earnings? Did this black magic and occult art help you get rid of your sorrows and pain? If money and wealth is what you wanted, then what did our palace and royal life lack? If after becoming a monk, our motive was to earn gold, then why did we leave a palace full of gold? Shubchandra Maharaj further said, I do not have any magic or any skill to prove the outcome of my tapasya, but it is just the power of pure tap that even dirt can change things into gold. And Shivchandra Maharaj took some dirt near his feet and put it on a rock. And can you believe it? That dirt near his feet turned the entire rock into gold. This shocked Bhartrihari. He fell at Shivchandra Maharaj's feet and apologized to him and said, Hey Maharaj, I do not understand the importance of your tap because of my foolishness and ignorance. Bhartrihari said, Maharaj, I even fell for fake tapasya, because of which I have earned a lot of bad karma. Please give me guidance and show me the path to the right Uttam Tap, which will lead me to the path of liberation. And Bhartrihari took the Gambari Diksha, which means he renounced all worldly pleasures, like his brother Shukchandra Maharaji. Kids, Uttam Tap is not where someone goes to earn worldly pleasures. In fact, Uttam Tap is to give up on worldly possessions and desires. It is for the liberation of the soul. So let us all say, Uttam Tap Dharma ki jai ho, Jai Jinendra.
Okay. Any thoughts? Any thought? Does it make sense? The story, right? So you know this art, this art of making gold with using chemicals. What is it called? Do you know the name of the word? What's the word for it?
Alchemy.
Alchemy. Yes. So this Aztec guru was doing a hoax. Yeah, Aztec or something they said, which is like a non Jain guru. Okay, let's call it that. And yeah, so he was like teaching alchemy to this disciple of his, and somehow it was hoax. It was fake, right? It didn't work. But he tried to give that liquid to him with the claim that this liquid will turn everything in gold, and actually that was lie, right? When not just lie, it was not in act of great act of that someone should support, right? If you are on path of penance, it should be directed in the right way, right? If you try to do penance to acquire some extra skills, like it will get me wealth, it will get me something of worldly pleasures, then it's not an act of penance. On the contrary, it's something that keeps you away from the path, the true path, the path to moksha. है ना? Okay, someone is doing some scribing which I like. It's kind of very abstract art, but it's I don't know if it's
Scribbling,
eh,
not scribing.
oh yeah, scribbling. Thank you, Ishna. But I think it's not you guys doing it. It's maybe on the video itself. So that's okay. We can avoid it. I thought someone is doing mischief, which I know you guys are not doing the mischief. Okay, let's. Oh no, it is act of mischief, but let's see who did this. Let's see. Okay, we have one more story to cover, which is the story of Tyag. And yes, so let me first get rid of this. Let's see.
Who did this?
Look
Look in my eyes, everybody. Who did this?
But the
Let's.
people only in the meeting can do this.
I
but
get
I
it,
haven't-
but that's we don't have to investigate, okay? So, guys, get back to your seats. Let's see how we get rid of this. Is what I'm trying to do. Yes, I'm sure it happened by mistake. So, let's see. Let me stop the video once. Oh no, that's my video. Let me do. Oh no, it's there. What's the right way? Any thoughts, suggestions? How I can get rid of this? You guys would have done it several times. Hide floating meeting. No.
Nobody really knows how you even do this.
Okay, I think I got rid. Oh no, it's there. Okay, anyways, I think we'll survive. We'll survive these and you will be able to yet watch. So let me play it. And then-
Mayank, where are you going with your money-filled piggy bank?
Didi, my piggy bank is full. I think I should empty the money from it now.
Okay, so now we are talking about Uttam Tyag. Okay, so Tyag is act of giving up. है ना? Tyag and tap kind of go hand in hand in the sense, the kind of, depending on the kind of vow you are taking. Tyag is more giving up, So let me ask you. So from the hint that I gave you in the chat, what does Uttam Tyag means? Who's going to tell me? What does Uttam Tyag means? Any raised hands? Tyag, word Tyag, what does it mean? I don't see any raised hands. I do see now someone's hand. Who else? Keval? What's the answer? Keval, you know the answer? Ishna, you know the answer? What does Tyag means?
Giving up.
Giving up, okay. Somewhere? And what?
Letting go. So Muni Maharaj, they just let go everything.
Okay. They give up, they let go. Somewhere? What's your answer?
So my answer is Uttam Tyag is basically giving up all of the worldly pleasures, but it doesn't have to do anything with meditation.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So it's basically like Uttam Tap, but no meditation.
great differentiation. Okay, now I get your answer. That's what I was trying to figure out. But this is a good answer. Great answer, somewhere. Okay, Jia, how would you describe Uttam Tyag?
I think it is for sacrificing yourself.
Sacrificing yourself. Okay. Are you sure about that? That's what Tyag is about?
Good things.
Yeah, because if sacrificing yourself is Tyag, then, in that other story, someone was sacrificing a goat. Is that also Tyag? No, right? Because killing in this context, it's not sacrificing as in, giving up your life. It is about giving up what you like, getting, donating it for greater causes. Now these greater causes are what is very important here. If you are doing a tyag so that somebody can, use that money for some bad causes, open a, a bar or a liquor shop, that's not tyag. You may be donating it, but the other guy is not using it for good causes. So it is not tyag. You will not get the right fruits of that tyag. है ना? So it is very important what you are giving up and for what causes you are giving up. Today's story is story about this general, this prime minister of of a kingdom in India called Mewad. I belong to Mewad. We all are from Mewad, so it's a story we have heard from growing up when we were kids. Story about Bhama Shah. What's his name?
Bhamasha.
What's the name, Ishna?
Bhamasha.
And Bhama Shah is not now a just a name, it's a legend in India. Anybody who does an act of donation for greater causes is actually called as Bhama Shah. So if you are in India and if you see a great act of donation and you say them, hey, you are like Bhama Shah, that's a that's a compliment for them. Bhama Shah has become a legend. Okay. Bhama Shah was the prime minister of the ruler of Mewad called Maharana Pratap. And Maharana Pratap has his own place in the history of India. He is one of those generals in the medieval times who fought back, a big commander of his people, a king of his people, who fought back the Mughals, the invaders, the foreign invaders who wanted to convert everyone into Muslims. He was one of those guys who, in spite of all his hardships, smaller armies, less resources, stood against the mighty armies of the Mughals who came from the Central Asia. And their goal was to convert everyone to Muslims and Islam. And this is the great act of Maharana Pratap. And in his life, once he had to give up all his kingdom, the small kingdom that he has, all his resources, wealth. He lost all of them in a great battle, which he kind of was not able to win. And he was not able to mobilize a great army. And he faced that situation. That is when his prime minister, who was a man of great resources, a great businessman, came in. Yes,
And
Ishna.
he was a Jain.
And most importantly, he was a Jain. है ना? So Bhama Shah donated all his wealth. And you know what? He was actually accruing this wealth himself for a greater cause. He wanted to build a great temple, a great Jain temple. Okay. And then he was supplied with this situation whether to use this money, the money that he has accrued for building a great temple, or giving it up in this protection of his motherland. And he chose the later. He gave up all this wealth to Maharana Pratap so that Maharana Pratap can use it to mobilize a great army and then fight back against those Mughals, those Islamic invaders who were troubling everyone around in the country. Not just this act, let Maharana Pratap mobilize a great army that kept fighting, with guerrilla tactics against those invaders. It also created a great inspiration for our people, right? We Jains should be proud of the act of Bhama Shah, and we should always remember him when we are we are in a position of wealth, that how we should use our money, how we should be always be ready to do uttam tyag. He is a figure of inspiration to him, to all of us, hai na? So remember his name. What's his name, guys? Bhama Shah. What's his name, Keval?
Bhamasha.
Bhama Shah. Jia, what's his name?
Bhamasa.
Bhama Shah. Yes. A great Jain who gave us, we should be proud that he's part of our history. Hai na? And we should be proud of our elders and their great acts of sacrifice, supreme sacrifice. So that's the story. Now let's hear the story. The name is Bhama Shah. So remember that.
But what will you do with all this money?
You know, Didi, my friend Vaibhav's piggy bank also got full. He said that he he was going to donate the money for the construction of the Mandirji, the Muni Maharaj's ahar, meaning food, or for the treatment of sick people or animals.
Oh, that's nice. Your friend is as generous as Baham Shah. He
Bhama
is
Shah.
doing a very good thing.
Okay, it's Bhama Shah. Okay,
As
remember the
generous
name.
as Baham Shah? Who is he?
Don't you know about Baham Shah? Then let me tell you the story of the kind and generous-hearted Danveer Baham Shah. Baham Shah is a well-respected and known figure in history. You know why? He is known for his sacrifice and his devotion towards his motherland. Baham Shah was born in the year 1547 in a city named Chittorgarh in the beautiful state of Mewar in the ancient days of India. Baham Shah was an advisor to a brave Rajput king, Maharana Pratap Singh, and was his very important minister. At that time, Mewar state was attacked by invaders of the Mughal dynasty. Maharana Pratap was fighting with the Mughals to save his motherland, Mewar, from this attack and from getting captured. But, unfortunately, the Mughals won the war and captured Mewar. He was, however, determined that he would not surrender to the cruel Mughals, even if it would cost him his life. He will try to save his country and its culture till his last breath. For that, he left with his family to hide from the Mughals and lived in exile in the jungle. He wanted to wait for the right opportunity to build his army to fight back against the Mughals. If he wanted, he could live as a king, even under the Mughals' rule. But he preferred to accept the adversities of the jungle instead of all the comforts of a kingdom. Slowly, all of his resources, his money, food, etc., started running out. The condition of his family also began deteriorating. He did not have any money to feed his family or build an army. Despite this, he did not get scared. His love for his motherland became stronger. It is an example for everybody who is devoted to their country. Do you know, during this unfortunate time, whose help did Maharana Pratap take? His old and trusted minister and advisor, Baham Shah. Baham Shah was born in a Jain family, and since childhood itself, his parents taught him about sacrifice and charity. So, Baham Shah offered his entire life's earnings, savings, and wealth to his king Maharana Pratap to save Mewar. But Maharana Pratap refused to take his donation. He said, "You are a citizen of my kingdom, and how can I take back the money that I gave to my people?" To this, the great Bahama Shah said, "O great king, this wealth belongs to our country, and I am giving this for my country only. How is it possible that I stay in comfort, my king stays in the jungle, and my fellow citizens suffer under the rule of Mughals?" So he insisted Maharana Pratap accept his wealth in the service of the country. Do you know how much wealth did Baham Shah donate to save Mewar? That wealth was so much that it could pay off 20,000 soldiers for 14 years. With the money that Baham Shah gave him, Maharana Pratap could form an army. All the soldiers had new hope and new inspiration to save their motherland from the Mughal rulers. And guess what? This time, Maharana Pratap was able to defeat the Mughal king Akbar. Bahama Shah helped restore the pride of Mewar and its citizens. He did not think twice before sacrificing his lifetime's earnings and wealth. Hence, after so many years, even today, When anyone donates or gives money with the good intentions and for a good cause, he is called Bahamsha, just to honor the generous Danbir Bahamsha. So, kids, let's all promise that for the protection of our dharma, our country, our culture, and our citizens, we will be as generous as Bhamasha. And whenever our country needs help, we will be ready to sacrifice everything. Every single day, we will donate some money in the donation box of the temple. Even if we can't go to the temple every day, we will keep a piggy bank at home, exclusively to collect donations for Mandirji. For our Muni Maharaji, we should do a hardan, which is the donation of food, and also help them during their bihar, their travel from one place to another. We should donate medicines for their good health, and for their meditation, we should construct good Sant Nivases, meaning stay over for saints. Muni Maharaj do not keep anything with them. So, we have to make sure we do Shastradan, the donation of religious books, for their reading. This is what Uttam Tyag is, or in other words, what supreme renunciation is.
Okay, great. Great story. Great story, guys. So, what did you learn from the story? First of all, who is going to tell me the name of the person? What's his name? Not Ashna, of course. Samvar, go ahead. What's his name?
His name is Bhama Shah, and what I learned from the story is basically you you need to sacrifice all of the goods for with you to other people, so that either either a person with not that many goods could earn them, or you could mm, donate money for ahar, or you could donate money for the temple.
I see. I see. So, great answer, Samvar. Thank you for the answer, good thought. But remember, you have to donate. So, if there is a panhandler, a beggar standing next to the road, and he is asking for money, uh, what do you think? You should be donating to that beggar without any thought, or what? Because he's in need. He's showing that he is in need. What would you do?
Hmm, I'm not really sure because he may be faking it.
Yes, you should be aware of that. Great, great answer. He may be faking it, or he may need the money for buying liquor or for some cigarettes or whatever, right? There are those bad people. They don't want to work, but they have just figured out the best way to earn is by asking other people to donate. है ना? So they play with your emotions. So be aware of those, okay? Not that all the people who are standing next to the road are really that kind of people, but there are those kind of people also. Okay. Now, one thing this mark is bothering me a lot. Can someone help me with getting rid of this blue whatever scribble someone did? Do you know
You
how to
have
get
to
rid of?
press the view. You have to press the view options button and then click annotate and clear.
I see. Thank you for helping me out. Let me view, and you said okay, wait a sec. First of all, wait, how do I unshare it? So we're here, home. Okay. It's a Zoom meeting, right? View, show chats, hide video panel. No, I don't see annotate. Okay. Don't do this. I don't do this. You're distracting me.
Sorry.
How do I actually I want to now stop Okay, anyways, I'll take care of it later. But you got the gist of the story. Gia, anything you want to add? Any thought you want to add for this story? Gia, I cannot hear you, beta. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, beta. Now I can hear you.
I want to donate toys and clothes.
Okay, that's a great cause. Yes,
But
you have your unwanted clothes and toys. It's great to donate them. Great, nice,
and
good
for
answer.
Rajam are done.
And ahar dan, very good. So there are four type of dans we should be aware of, right? Donation of medicine, donation of shastra, right? Aushadhi, uh, which is medicine, Shastra, that's scriptures, money towards scriptures, Abhaydan, that is the donation of life, as in you are in power, position of power, and you just defeated some person and you are just giving them life. That's Abhaydan. What else? Abhay, Ahar, Aushadhi, and Charute. Yeah. What's the fourth one? Ahar, Abhay, Aushadhi, and uh, ahar is food, Aushadhi is medicine, scripture. Oh, we did this. Ahar, Aushadhi, Abhay, and Shastra. Four. Okay. Yeah, it was there. I was just miscounting it. Right. So Ahar Dan is donation of food to Muni Maharaj and everyone. Right. Aushadhi is food, donation of medicine. Abhay is donation of life or giving, and then or forgiving something, that's abhaydan, and then the shastradan, which is scripture, donation of scriptures, okay, or donation of knowledge, right? So you give up, teach someone about Jainism and you don't charge for it. That is a also a shastradan, a kind of shastradan. Or you make up, volunteer to make up great videos about Jainism. That's also a type of uh, uh, Shastradhan. Okay. And we are good with that. I am still bothered with this scribbling. So whoever have done this scribbling now have to take do some tap. Okay. They have to do some act of your own way. Take a vow, and you distracted the act of teaching. So you should be aware of it and try to follow something. Okay. I know who did it, but that's okay. I'm not going to tell you. It's just between me and that person. Okay? Great story. So, who is going to recite the Navkar mantra today? Okay. Who is volunteering to do the Navkar mantra and Mangal part? Not Ishna is there. I know. Anybody else who want to do the Navkar mantra and okay, I don't see any raised hand. Now I see some were doing it. Okay, Mangal part. So first Navkar mantra and then the Mangal part. Okay. By Mangal part, I mean Chittari Mangalam and Chittari Lagutma.
Namo Arihantaram, Namo Sedharam, Namo Ariyanam, Namo Vajayanam, Namo Loe Savasavinam, Eso Panchanamokaro Savapava Pranashanam, Mangalaram Cha Savisam, Paramam Havai Mangalam. Chattari Mangalam, Arihantam Mangalam, Siddha Mangalam, Sahu Mangalam, Kevali Panato, Dhammo Mangalam, Chattari Logotama, Arihanta Logotama, Siddha Logotama, Sahu Logotama, Kevali Panato, Dhammo Logotama. चत्वारि शरणं प्रव्रजामि अरिहन्त शरणं प्रव्रजामि सिद्ध शरणं प्रव्रजामि साहु शरणं प्रव्रजामि केवलीपरमात्तं धर्मं शरणं प्रव्रजामि.
Thank you, beta. Thank you for reciting this. And thank you, everyone. We are ending the class now. It was a great session. I hope you learned something new today and you would be able to remember these as you pass through your days and do anything in your life. Okay? Jai Jinendra.
Jai
Jai
Jinesh.
Jinesh.